Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our two new friends, Nils and Chelsea. We're here to break down this awesome indie game, Fenderball, and everything in between, and breaking down a little bit of the Foley Arcade. But before we dive right in and get to gaming, Nils, Chelsea, welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Doing great.
Thanks so much for having us.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, I just started breaking into the indie game scene, and I always love the opportunity to, because gaming and comics, they go hand in hand. It's like what best way to geek out than read a book and play an awesome game. So, before we dive too deep into that, give us a little bit about who you guys are and how you got into creating games.
Yeah, I'm Nils Claesson, and I'm sort of the lead developer on Fenderball. And I've been doing, been into indie games I'm doing this for 3 years now, I think, but perhaps 2.5. Mm-hmm. And I have sort of a strange background. I'm originally an architect. So
really?
Done the whole college thing. I studied for 5 years, worked 2 years. And then in my free time, every day when I'm going to work, I will be doing my own game projects. And then the more I was doing that, the more I wanted to should I not switch over and do games instead of doing architecture? And, and I took that sort of U-turn and got in contact with the people at Full Arcade. Since then, so I mainly do coding, level design, and sort of game feel things in the project.
So how did that, starting out with architecture, how did that help you with, creating games? Was it the modeling, learning how the shapes fit? I mean, I remember taking a few drafting classes when I was in school and just learning how how you can look at a dice and it's flat on this surface, but then making it 3D, that's a whole different level.
Definitely. I think I had a lot of good things from architecture coming into game development, especially when we started out. It was me and another guy doing sort of design and prototyping. And you need just such a wide skill set to do that. The modeling thing definitely came in handy. And also sort of having a way to look at things spatially, to design environments and trying to put yourself into someone else's shoes, how they experience a level. So we also do that level design in Fenderball as well. But architecture definitely have been coming handy, I think.
No, that is so cool. So Chelsea, real quick, give us a little bit about yourself as well.
Yeah, so I'm a Californian transplant in Sweden. I am the marketing and community manager at the Foley Arcade, and it's my very first time being in a role even remotely like this. I'm totally new to the gaming industry. I am a bit of a nerd. Lord of the Rings was everything to me growing up. It's one example. I found myself here because the Foley Arcade is a spin-off of a web and film studio that I've been working with for many years. And it's so much fun over there. And so during breaks, Tekken would be played, Rocket League was a big favorite. So all lunch break, we would be in there playing games. So we were sitting on all the same talent or similar talent that you would need for a gaming studio, and everyone was really passionate about games. So the decision was, let's do this. Let's make our own games. And so the Foley Arcade spun off of the Foley Studios, and it's now, we're producing our own games. Really exciting.
No, that is so awesome. So everybody in chat, we have so many awesome individuals. We have Ode saying let's go. We have Oscar saying hey. Joel saying woo. We have Garptune, sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, throwing up some tadas in chat. And then Jimmy throwing a woohoo. Everybody watching, you are able to wish list this right now. So can you guys give us a little bit of the importance of wish listing on a Steam page?
It's pretty huge because and what we want people to know about the game at launch and have the performance at launch, so then more people can find it and play it. So the more wish lists you have, the better you're set up for launch day, and the more momentum you can gain. And Fenderball is just so much fun. It's a game that people to play. Honestly, it's so much fun. So that is like the cornerstone of wishlist thing, and it also is a good indicator to see how far we're reaching with our marketing. People know about it, so it really is the kind of gold standard of indication of how things are going.
No, I got you. And guys, it's absolutely 100% free to wishlist. I mean, it costs nothing, so make sure you hit that button. Make sure you put this on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can. Word of mouth is also 100% free. And we're just trying to get as many eyes on this project as possible. So Fenderball is, I mean, this looks like one hell of a game. I can't wait to get into it. It looks like it's so much fun. This is an arcade-style sports game, including a pinball. So can you give us a little bit, about what it's about and what we can expect when we go to play it?
Fenderball's really, you nailed it. It's a very fast-paced arcade game with a lot of party aspects to it. It's so the background story is it's set in the 80s, and you have these teenagers who break into an old rundown arcade hall, and they are trapped into they're shrunk down into these old arcade flipper games, and have to sort of battle themselves out of there.
And so it's a combination of bubble soccer. Have you ever seen that played, Cody, where people have those bubble suits on?
And they just run as fast as possible into each other?
So, ridiculous spectacle of that we thought was hilarious, and we're inspired by that from the beginning. So you're within a pinball machine, and there are the flippers that you bounce against and these rails that you travel along to gain energy. But your goals are the bumpers, the fenders. So you play a bubble soccer-esque game where you smash into people, and you smash into the ball, and you can grab people and turn them and throw them away.
That sounds so much fun.
A kind of ridiculous fun experience running around on that pinball board.
And how you're trying to win, you're trying to be competitive, and then when the team grabs you, throws you out the way, nothing is more infuriating, right?
Exactly. It's just rivalries in the office, playful, but you really want to win.
So we have Ode saying gorgeous art. We have Juna throwing up some hands praising the art as well. I mean, I love just how visually striking this is too. How many different types of boards can we expect to be playing on, or arenas?
Right now we have 7. We're aiming towards 9 on release. And all of these are set from sort of in-universe of Fenderball. You have one machine, it's called Giants of Sleaze, and that's about an old sort of sleaze rock band that has actually gone into rehab, and they're that machine tells a story of this band, for example.
Another example is the Haunted Mansion one. So the main characters, Allison and Camilla, this Haunted Mansion level is inspired by one of their favorite childhood films of the day. That's kind of Jumanji-esque. So our lead artist creates these stories, and even creates a story within the story. So what would this movie have been about? Who would be the main characters? So that's who you see sketched out on the board down there.
Oh, that is so cool. I love it. So once again, guys, this is an online PvP. Also shared split screen too. So what type of platforms can we expect to see this game coming out on?
Definitely a PC, of course. And we are aiming Switch as well. As the first.
That's the perfect Switch game.
Yeah, it's the perfect party game, especially a local party game when you sit in a couch and play with your friends. So that's the first 2 for sure. And we would love, of course, to release on other platforms as well.
So right now, let's go ahead. Let's switch over to a little bit bigger of a screen so you guys can kind of see the gameplay too. Right now, we've been checking out the Steam video as well as another video that I was sent. I don't know if that's been previously viewed by the public or not. But yeah, this gameplay is phenomenal. Let's go ahead and get to an area where you guys can kind of help us break it down a little bit more in depthly. So tell us a little bit about what we're seeing. I mean, I noticed right away, you know, very fast, very action packed. You know, what are those dots underneath them though? Like, what's that? What is that a symbolism for?
So you can perform these dashes. Like the game is, when we started making this game, we wanted to be like a very physical game where you use your own character as a projectile almost. You can dash into the ball to send flying away into a goal. So you see these colored bumpers. So what you want to do, you get the pinball comes into the game, and you want to get that pinball into your bumper. But the twist is he has legs and a mind of his own. So if you touch him, he will start to begin to work for you and slowly like crawl his way towards your goal. So then you could, instead of concentrate on him, you just keep your opponents away from the ball basically and trying to grab them or just. Yeah,
I really love the visuals too, like how you guys caught the essence of a pinball machine. Like when you hit certain things and it flashes and it says winner, like it was just like such a perfect touch. Can we give a little bit of a shout out to everyone that was involved on the team or on the project so far?
Yeah, what you see, we can start with the art. The board art is Joachim Hammer. He's sort of the lead artist, and he actually has a background in comics as well. Yeah, and he's like an amazing artist. He really stands out. That's probably like when we show the game at sort of meetups and like gaming convention stuff. That's always the first thing you get. Like, oh, the art is amazing.
But that's what they were saying in chat too.
That's a lot of Joachim in that. So.
I really love too, like when a goal's made, like the board lights up, like it lights up like around like the zombie head and like the streaks of lights, like you know, hits. You guys captured that essence like perfectly. What type of engine did you use to create this?
We're using Unity.
Yeah, no, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, like I've been like when I started doing games as a hobby, I used Unity. I just fell in love from the start. Like I was just happy every time I started up Unity, so it's a match for me, I think.
Real quick, we have some chatter over on YouTube too. We have Oscar saying, love games like Towerfall, Pure Couch Combat, and this game scratches the same itch. Looking forward to the release. We have Ode saying Towerfall is the best, and then Sandra saying looks awesome. Once again, guys, right here is the link to wishlist this. Speaking of a release, you guys have any idea or any guess towards a release date or any, you know, maybe estimate of when we can expect to be able to play this?
Right now it looks like we will release in this summer or perhaps the end of summer. And like before that, we will have a closed beta, online beta for people to try out, get feedback and stuff. And we're aiming in the beginning of March for that. So if people are excited, just reach out to us on Discord or get in touch with us and we'll hook you up somehow.
Yeah.
And we'll have that link to the Discord in the description. So if you guys are watching this video, be sure to check in. I want to say a few minutes after the interview's over, and we'll have that description updated so you can join the Discord and get a chance to play it. Oh man, and March is right around the corner, so you guys have definitely been putting some work in. Like, how long have you guys been working on this project overall?
I think it's been varying intensity. In the beginning, we were just sort of 3 people working on it, and now we are the full team. I think we've been working on it in like 2.5 years, maybe. I think
wow,
that's ballpark, yeah.
Wow, that's impressive for the amount of work you put in. This thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, thanks. And we've been in this sort of production in 1 year now. Before that, we were like design and prototyping and stuff.
So we have Frederick over on YouTube stopping in and say, can't wait for this. I can't either. Hopefully I get a beta key. Feel free when it comes around there, you know, sprinkle a little bit of good luck dust my way. So, what this is, of course, we're seeing just like, not the finished product, but what you guys want us to see. What were some of the trials and tribulations that led up to this? Because of course we don't get to see that part of it. Indie games is fun, but I heard it could be pretty, make you want to yank some hair out sometimes.
Yeah, I think we had two major things we had to deal with. I think the first one was the concept of readability and how when you play the game that you will be able to keep track of your avatar, where you are, where's the ball, and not like losing the sense of immersion in the game. I think like when playing games, like immersion is key. That's the thing you really have to guard at all times. And in our case, this is quite difficult as well to keep the readability high in these kinds of games, where you have one camera where you see all 4 players at one time, and also very sort of expressive artwork. So that those limitations are quite difficult to work with. But we have really had to work with how to make the characters stand out from the board art, while not like really sacrificing the board art. It would be easy if the board art could just be like gray. There would be no problems. But that's not what we're doing, really.
Yeah.
And really, we looked at other games to see how they solve it. We looked a lot at Super Smash, where they have sort of the same, very like fast-paced, and one camera, different people on the screen. And it took some advice from them. Like they have really the player colors really stand out, and those colors are as far as they can be from each other. And that helped us, I think, really to try to make the player indicators like arrows and stuff less sort of a necessary evil, I think. We would like to not have them, but we really need to have them. Immersion high at all times. And also, we have taken on some inspiration from comic books. If you're familiar with a comic called Paper Girls.
Yeah.
And that art style really has been very influential on our lead artist, Jokke. And I actually brought an issue here. And they work with sort of having like page spreads are quite similar in color hues. Like one page spread would be purple and stuff, but still being quite expressive. And that's something that we have been trying to do as well in our visual identity for the game.
Oh, that is so cool. And I always love asking those questions because as just like a consumer, as someone who just plays video games, I don't ever, I see the finished product. It blows my mind you guys are able to create this from code and art and make it work. And I just love kind of like digging into like the ends of that. It's such a unique experience. So we have Fenderball once again, guys. Be sure to wishlist this. This is such an awesome game, and I can't wait to get a chance to play. We're going to be doing beta testing in March, slated for a summer's release. So, wow, we have real quick, Diego. I had the honor of testing this game, and I got to say, as great as this game looks, it's nothing compared to how great it actually plays. Yeah, this looks like it's just going to be fluid as heck. Oh, it's saying Cody is a comic guy. He definitely knows about Paper Girls. So, real quick, we've talked a little bit about Fenderball, but that's not all you guys do, right? The Foley Arcade, what's next for you guys? Is there any other projects you're looking forward to in 2023 or maybe 2024?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We have one that we are going to announce pretty soon, so I'm going to keep that on the down low for now, later. But that's an incredibly beautiful, hand-painted 3-person multiplayer.
Wow.
And that one is going to knock some real socks off. The art is absolutely incredible. And we're focusing on multiplayer games, like really high energy experiences. So we're already, we've started brainstorming our next chaotic multiplayer title that takes some inspiration from some elements of Fenderball. Again, I think I gotta keep the details under wraps, but that's what you can expect from us is really high energy, very social games.
Yeah.
So if you hear one of our games being played, like earmuff the children because there is like cursing, it gets loud. that's what we're going to deliver with every game that we put out there. And then we're also so we produce our own titles. We're also a group, so we have what do you call them, subsidiaries, so that we can share overhead costs and share creative talent.
Wow.
So we're involved in producing all different types of games. So some of them will be more story driven and slower. And so we're not limited to just these shouty ones. We're involved in lots of different types of projects.
That's so cool, and I love like just the like how you guys work together too to share costs. I think that's a big part of it too. Like, video games, comics, any community, there's so much competition, right? And it's like when you find that the way to work together, you just achieve so much greatness. Like, and I love that you guys are doing that.
Totally.
So that is awesome. Everyone watching, once again, right here is that link. Be sure to wish list. It's 100% free, and sharing it is just as free as well. So get on Facebook, get on Twitter, anywhere you can. Put that link. We definitely want to put that everywhere we can. It has been a lovely Saturday afternoon, or Friday afternoon. I got my days mixed up. This game is so awesome. It threw me off. Friday afternoon with you two. Thank you so much for swinging by. Before we let you go, though, I always love asking for a piece of advice, because as much as this is a podcast where we really focus on you and your game, there's always a chance that someone new might be watching for the first time that wants to really get into creating games. So if you had the chance to maybe go back and talk to yourself the first time you started doing this, what would be the piece of advice you would give yourself that would help carry you the farthest?
I think when you like start out, maybe start out just as a hobbyist. I think there's such a really great game developer communities. Here in Gothenburg, there's like meetups all the time. There's game jams and stuff. I think you really need to keep your motivation high. You should really connect with your local game dev community, because they're probably one around. And you can get a lot of get feedback on your game and get more motivation. And that's been so much fun for me when I started working as well. Just going around meeting other developers, which I didn't know that whole world really existed before. So that's the thing. That's my advice.
Man, I need to move to Sweden or something. We don't have a local game development. But Chelsea, what about you? I know you kind of handle the managing side of things, the promotional side of things, but I'm sure you have a little bit of advice you can offer as well.
Let's see. I think my advice is kind of similar to Nils, because I watched the development of the studio, and it was, I think you can have parallel passions in this life. So if you have one skill that you're already monetizing, just go in the direction of your passion slowly, and then you'll be able to jump to that parallel rail of your passion much easier. So the studios, they started creating branded campaign games for clients. And so they built up gaming experience that way. And then they could hop the rails to making their own games. That's what I would say.
No, that is so awesome. Thank you so much. Real quick, we have a question in the chat from Jimmy. Is this purely a free-for-all game, or will there be any team modes or team-based playing?
Yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah, we have a team 2v2 as well, which is a really important aspect. I think a lot of people really enjoy it. We have different game modes. You can play free for all, 2v2, and a thing called Knockout, which is sort of like a battle royale, a little bit.
Ooh.
So you start 4 players, and then the last person to score is eliminated. So and it ends with the final, sort of. But yeah, we're playing around with a lot of different game modes and lots of wacky stuff as well.
You know, I could see at some point too, later down the road, some sort of tournament-based lineup too, right? Where you could set up brackets. There's an endless possibility with this type of game. Niles, Chelsea, thank you so much for swinging by. Everyone watching, this has been a lovely, awesome. Dude, I cannot get enough of these indie podcasts. If you guys have an indie game out there, hit me up, please. I'm trying to do more and more of these shows, and I just cannot get enough of it. So thank you too for swinging by. Everyone watching, have a awesome Friday, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.